Don't let the baby go. I call it. I want to hear what's going on. Let's do it.
We're live. It's on.
Okay. Building and Property Committee and the Emergency Management Solid Waste Committee of Marion County Fiscal Court will have a joint meeting on Tuesday, April 19th, 2022, immediately following the adjournment of the Marion County Fiscal Court meeting, which began at 9 o'clock. To consider the following agenda. The first item is to call this meeting to order. I'm the chairman of the Emergency Management Solid Waste Committee. Tim is the chairman of the Building and Property Committee. We call this meeting to order. And the second thing, agenda item is report on horses. And so Judge Hale will explain this to us.
Yes, thank you very much. And I appreciate y'all hanging over. And I'm glad you guys stayed too. So today I personally invited, obviously, Animal Control, who we work with a lot. I actually invited Steve Bull, who's had a part of the recovery of our abandoned horses that we had. That way, if there's any questions, you don't need to go through me, just go straight to the horse, as they say. So anyway, so somewhere around 2019, there was horses abandoned at the state park. The gentleman that had the contract, and I hate to repeat myself, but it's the only way I'm gonna get my point across. We had a guy who abandoned horses at the state park. Well, the Department of Agriculture was called in. They called Animal Control in. County, take the horses off of this property. We had how long to take them off, Shelley? Right then. I called Steve Bull. I knew he had the, can you open that door, please? Come over, have a seat. You need to. Okay, so again, along about 2019, we had these animals. The Department of Agriculture, Animal Control, so we have to remove them off this property. Immediately, I called Steve Bull. I talked to him. He's a horse expert. He is. He deals with them all the time. Who better to fool with them? I'm not the expert. I like looking at horses. That's about it. So, can y'all get that door open? So, we removed those horses. We actually had Dr. Steve Webb, who we consulted with, who we had to consult with because we have to call a vet at that time. He estimated those animals being about 150 to 200 pounds. Tony, shut that door, please. 150 to 200 pounds underweight. They had no water. We don't know when the last time, thank you, the last time they were fed. So we removed them. We kept them at Mr. Bull's for, I don't know what the length of time is. We ran up a bill, a considerably large bill. One might say, I think is like $4,100 a month, roughly, give or take. I don't know. Those are questions as to why that was. You need to direct to Mr. Bull. Okay. Again, I trust his judgment. That's why he was called. So if there's any questions right now, I'll yield to him on that. Any questions for Steve Bull?
How many horses were there total?
So originally there were 9 or 10. I don't even know which. I just know we had to put one down.
There was 10.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Any questions for Mr. Bull?
I just want to let him know that I've already talked to him that when I questioned, I wasn't questioning his bill, or I think I've already talked to Steve about that, but it's my job to question bills.
Yes, sir.
And though I had no problem with what his bill was, it was just questions. I just want to make that clear.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Bull, how long do you keep us? I talked to Steve about it. How long do you keep horses, Steve? I have to go back. I've been
took you, well, the total bill was.
Give or take 24,000, 25,
Okay, so that's how much-
something.
Okay.
Yes.
That's it. That's all.
Well, and then if you all remember, I approached the court and I had a agreement between the state of Kentucky Tourism to take these back to the state park. Presented in court, voted, here's the minutes, it passed unanimously. Those discussions that day were discussions held regarding current costs, anticipated decreasing costs, agreement obligations including feeding, care, court trial dates. I'll get to that in a second. Delayed court dates due to COVID-19. Agreement schedule of work. Cannot sell horses until current the actual court action. Number of horses, projected cost, check on property of the fences, adequate grass, physical shape of the horse, and will follow with advice of the veterinarian on hay and feed. So all members were present except for Trent Riddle. Here's the minutes. The following month, those minutes were approved. And I have that agreement here.
Which the agreement was until we retained ownership, right?
That's correct. That's correct. That is correct. So the gentleman that abandoned these animals, we pushed for animal cruelty. Sure did. With the county attorney and animal control. He left these animals to die. Matter of fact, they had to put one down that day. Put one down that day. And again, my goal was not to let this man have his animals back. Because if that's the way you're going to treat animals, you don't need animals. I'm sorry. If I do that, I don't need animals. Okay? I don't know that anyone would argue with that fact. Anyone. But if you do, hey, that's your business. So that court date was supposed to be April of 2019. COVID hit. Court shut down. Dates were pushed back. Pushed back. County attorney, how long? Year and a half, 2 years, roughly.
The criminal case regarding the horses came about, he was charged on February, I'm sorry, it was disposed of February 8th, 2021 in Barron's report. I can look back and see when he was charged, but I'm fairly certain it was in maybe around September of 2019.
So, but of the actual court date, 21. February 21.
2021 is when
Okay.
he pled guilty.
Okay, so from that point forward, we had horses. Barron County had horses. We took them back to the park for this agreement. Steve had done a great job of putting that weight back on them where they look like something. Now they need a purpose. They need a purpose. So we started talking about what can we do with them. Okay. Again, the only people that have reached out to me about these horses, Mark has asked about them in passing. Tim has called me about them. Jeff Botts has called me about it to ask me about these horses. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. To know what the future of these horses are. Okay. I have numerous calls and emails from Mr. Jeff Joe. Okay. At the time, we're busy with budget. I'm sorry if I couldn't get back with you. But hopefully I'll answer some of your questions today. I know. Anyway, let's get to the horses. So what we have been looking at is equine therapy for special needs kids. And we visited a couple of facilities on that. Okay. I pitched this idea to a few special needs instructors in our schools, and they were all over it. So we took an hour out of our day to go down and meet these students and the impact it made on these students. Now, I don't know if any of you have special needs in your family. I hope you don't. But I'm telling you, they opened up. That's impactful. And we can do that for our youth and our community. Not only that, those horses at the state park have drawn so much attention from people from other counties. The state tourism guy, the commissioner, deputy commissioner, come down, and he met with Mr. Danny Sally, who's the manager, and he said, we have people here every single day to look at these things. Every day. To pet them, have family photos with. He said, our tourism numbers are up because we have so much traffic. Phase 2 of the park project, they remodeled that barn. It's like a new barn now, put LED lighting in it. They agreed to pay the water and the electric for those horses. And that's per the agreement. So get back to the special needs aspect of it. And no, I'm not asking anybody to take any action. I'm just telling you, these animals have a purpose. Now, these teachers are saying, hey, we need to bring these kids back. We need to bring them back. We want to bring them back. Special needs have issues with their hands. They keep their hands closed. There's not a kid out there that open their hands up. And I'm not jerking on your heartstrings here. I'm just telling you what I've seen. If we could roll that video, the teacher shot the video. We didn't shoot the video. But Tracy, if you'll roll it, just show you a few pictures of it. That's all I want you to do. I just want to see it. So it made an impact. And on behalf of Barron County Fiscal Court, I said, that's what we want to do. That's what we strive to do, is make impacts in our community. Is make the impacts. So anyway, that's ongoing. So we were advised by our veterinarian that one of our horses was being bullied and was losing weight. What must we do? We must remove that one because it's being bullied. I personally took that horse home with me. I already owned one horse and a donkey. I personally took that home. I've absorbed all the cost of that horse. Feed, hay, farrier service. Didn't cost the county nothing. Personally. So I'm sponsoring that animal. I didn't want it to die. I did not want it to die. No video. Okay, that's fine. We can do that. I need that, and I like to have the horse. Okay, tell him to go right ahead. So just to get that out in the open, there was a question that was asked Jamie about the update on the horses, and she didn't lie to you. That's fine. There's a comment about her lying to you. First off, it's not her place.
Judge,
It's my place.
I want to tell you something.
It's my
Let's
place.
I want to get this off my chest right now.
Sure.
You've known about this since February. You said, well, we call. Is it our place, when the county's paying the horses, is it our place to always inquire about what it's cost, what that costs? Isn't that something?
Yes, sir. It is your job.
It's our job.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's your job to tell us that the horses is all taken care of in February, and we keep the horses another year before we find out. Is that our job too?
That is your job. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I did not know that. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
for sharing that.
Yes, sir.
So you get
It's
a
all
court-
of our jobs.
You get a court, the court tells us we own the horses, and we find out about it, what, month and a half?
This hadn't been an issue until just a few months ago. We've been a whole year and no one is asked other than just in passing or a phone call.
I mean,
Okay.
why did you share it? It's sort of like today, I voted against the ARPA. You know why? Everything else we do, we go through committees, just like today. Why wasn't this brought up, but all I was for here, this was supposed up today. Everything's in committees, but no.
We're in committee today.
I know, but the ARPA money today was brought up out of the blue, no committee.
I'm not here to discuss that.
because Everybody else wanted.
I'm here to only talk about
Oh,
horses.
no.
Yes, I am. That's all that's on the agenda.
Excuse me. I'm leaving because I've had enough of this.
That's fine.
I'm walking out. of
That's
this meeting.
fine because truth is spilling out of my
No,
mouth.
no,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
well,
But-
why didn't you tell us about it in February? Bill? Why didn't you tell us about it?
I didn't have to tell you about it in
Well, you
February.
didn't.
But
That's not
if
your-
you're a
that's
member
not
of this
your
fiscal
job.
court,
That is not your
you're-
job when when we get a court settlement and we, Barron County.
I don't believe it is my job.
Oh, it's not? We need to find somebody to take that responsibility.
No, sir, I don't believe it is my job.
Okay, that's fine.
So to respond to that comment that she lied, no, it's my responsibility to tell you all. Not go to these people and explain. I'm the one. I'm their leader. It's for me and my responsibility. Okay? I don't throw anybody under the bus here. I'm not. But that needs to come straight from me. If it was on his mind that day, why didn't he call me? He didn't call me. He did not call me. I'm not talking about you right now, Jeff. I'm addressing these court members, okay? You stand there, you stand there with your hand up. Sheriff, you need to control him, please. Okay? I'm trying to talk to these court members, please.
Okay, this is an open meeting, correct?
That's correct.
So who's supposed to tell the citizens of the community?
The fiscal court.
I called my magistrate, had him meet with you, and you gave him no information at all.
Hey, Phyllis, let's go about this in civilized manner, please.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Obviously, Mr. Joe, you've got some questions.
I do.
And we'll get to
I've
it.
been asking him for 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
And we'll get to it.
I got a newspaper out today that has a bunch of misinformation, and if half what you say is truthful, and I
Yeah.
don't like lying
Yeah.
to my 6,000 acres.
Yeah. And you also got a picture of my property and my house on the front page of it. And you've been stalking my property, sir.
You're on Main Road.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is still an open meeting, Junior. Mr. Joe, we want to give you a fair chance to talk. Judge, we want to give you a fair chance to talk. Now, have you got statements to address the court?
Yes, sir.
Then, Mr. Joe, you will have the floor. Your turn.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. So we've talked about the special needs. We've had two and a half years of hay donated by Charlesdale Embry in Cave City. Okay, here's some of the horses. You can, I don't think these aren't, those current pictures? Okay, yes. Here's when we took them off the property. You can see the bones somewhat protruding, very underweight. They had ate the barks up on top of the trees as high as they could get. Again, here, this is a pretty bad picture here. Yeah, this is the one that's actually at my house. I took it in. It's being bullied. This one right here. So again, they were in bad shape. And we just wanted to take care of them. That's what we wanted to do, is take care of them. Okay. These are just some of the pictures of the students. We'll let them scroll. I'll go ahead about my presentation. But again, for somebody to say that a county employee lied to them, no, if a county employee said, no, it's not my place to tell you, that's good enough for me, because the boss needs to tell you. And the boss is telling you today. I'm telling you today. Okay. So, hay donated. We even had other folks in the community to donate hays. We sent a tax letter to Mr. Embry for his tax donation. Mr. Aaron Shirley, he actually donated some hay to the cause as well. I have personally paid for hay. I have personally paid for feed. I have receipts where I have paid for those things. There are farrier services that the court has paid for. They have. But there are areas that I have paid for too, and I do have receipts to back those things up. This is current at the park. That's only 5 of them. Yep, that's usually the ones that runs up to the fence. So,
So if I can ask a question.
yes, sir.
So where are we at on the cost?
Yes. So right now we are at a fee. This month I have took care of the hay bill. Okay, it wasn't turned in. There will be a vet bill that I elected to take care of myself. So you're out what? $10 bag of feed, 4 bags of that, $40 roughly.
$41,000.
This is my presentation. Okay, so the bill that was run up due to COVID, and I'll go back to this right here, with that date being pushed back and pushed back, we can recoup the CARES money due to COVID because it was above and beyond what was budgeted. Above and beyond what was budgeted. So we recouped roughly $26,000 of that money. Most of that went to where they were off-site. So that's what we actually recouped through the CARES Act. That was $1.5 million that we received. The first go around CARES Act, not ARPA. Don't get it confused with ARPA, but CARES money. Okay. So we reimbursed ourselves with that. Let's see. So that's why it has dropped significantly. It went from $41.85 a month to pretty much nothing now since we've got this agreement with the state park. So that should answer that question. The number one is the CARES Act. We recouped that money because it was above and beyond. And if anyone has any different saying about that, if you have the proof, show me. But we couldn't recoup that money because it was above and beyond due to COVID. Those court dates got pushed out. So we had to set on them. Almost 2 years. We had to. So again, if anyone has any proof that we shouldn't have done that, I need to see it. I stand corrected if you find it.
So I guess my question is, how much since the February, what was the court date when it was disposed of? February the 8th, 2021. So since that time, how much it cost if we incurred?
I couldn't tell you that. I don't have those numbers.
6,100.
And that was due to your open records request.
That's how you get it.
So are we ready for comments?
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, I was not taking up for Carl, I guess. He never called her a liar. I mean, he might have insinuated it, but he never called her a liar. Jeff and I were in here. He never used the word. I mean, do you agree with that?
I don't quite agree with all that.
Yeah. So, and I know that's beside the point, but he didn't actually call her a liar. The other comment I have, I'd like to get this behind us. What's done's done. My motion to recommend to this committee that we get rid of the horses by selling, giving them away. But that's my motion for right now for this committee.
I second that.
Okay. Get rid of the horses if county somehow selling. I think there's some places maybe that do the therapeutic place. If we could find someone, I think there'd be some places we could donate the horses if we need to. Have maybe some type of contract to allow the special needs kids to
Now,
go
once
out.
they're out of our hands, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done. Yeah,
That's fine.
so get rid of, sell, or give away somehow. Specifically, can we give them to homes in Barron County?
Sure. I mean, I'm fine with it. But I just thought the therapeutic, if you were concerned about that, if we had maybe some type of farm that kind of did that, and then maybe an agreement with them, since it's our property, I think we could have an agreement where kids once a quarter or once every two times a year could go out and have that experience with the horses. Because you can ask, I drove a special needs bus for 20 and a half years. You can check my record. There's nobody cares anymore about special needs. I just don't think the county needs to be in the horse business. So that's my
comment would be too. As far as special needs, that is a great opportunity, a great work on that. But from a physical standpoint, us being good stewards of the county. You know, I think we fulfilled our obligation, you know, with the court system and everything when all this come about. So I think it's time that we no longer run the horse.
Okay, well, I'm not really looking at it as a horse business, no disrespect to anybody. I think it's providing opportunities as a county. It's called change too. It's something that we need to adapt to because we don't help special needs. Government entities don't help. They don't. And special needs are always dependent on someone. Someone they're dependent on their whole life. And again, I just figured we could be the leaders in doing that. There are opportunities to fundraise, to self-sustain these through tourism. Hey, if you guys want to find them homes, we'll find them homes, not a problem. I've got a list of people that want them. I do.
I'm gonna share too. Our goal would be, we see that the miscommunication, we've seen that in the Justice Center somewhat brought up a little of this, and I guess whether you needed to or not, I guess maybe somewhere or another that we come up and talk things that come about. It just I guess I know I'm learning the court members, sometimes they're thinking that we're maybe you're not sharing the information, and I think that's where we get into trouble. And I'm not trying, I mean, if we can just find to where we trust each other and let you do yours and we do ours. And I think miscommunication got us right back here with the horses, just like it did on the Justice Center. We had a little spell there that everybody wasn't feeling good. I think we're in good shape now. And I think the reason why we would need to get rid of them now, in my opinion, is because it's a big talk in the community.
Yeah, it's election year.
I'm hoping that we can, possibly the state could take them over. Certainly the special needs we need to look at that, and maybe something that after all this happens that we can come about and do something. But right now, that would be the reason that I'd want to get rid of the horses, is we got to get unified back again and get this, and we're not going to be able to unless we get rid of the horses.
And gentlemen, I respect your opinions.
I call question.
I respect your opinions.
Well, Tim and I learned yesterday at the barber shop from our barber that the horse market's pretty good, didn't we, Tim?
I'm not interested in hearsay. So
Let's just vote on it. I call question.
My point is, let's sell them, don't give them away.
Hey, gentlemen, let me interject here. Judge Hale has the podium. However, we yielded to Mr. Joe to give him a chance. This is open meeting. I'm understanding. So
you're all done. Go ahead, Jeff.
What I do is I reach out to people quietly, try to get information. I try to get answers so that I understand. When my readers start asking me questions, I like to get them the answers. If I don't know the answers, I didn't call you. I've called Mr. Trimmer, I've called Mr. Botts, I've called Mr. Dickerson. I tried to text, I'm not sure you're the young lady I tried to text that said that you're personal. I reached out to someone on Facebook that they said was in charge of it, and that person told me, this is their personal Facebook, do not contact them there. I said, not a problem. I reached out to the office, I left messages in the office for you.
Sure
I
have.
texted you, I emailed you, I sent a picture of 3 horses at your home, and I said, Michael, are these those 3 horses that we're trying to find? Because there's only 5 horses out of the park at that time. I don't know where these horses keep moving around, everyone. There was 5 horses at the park on this day, on the 28th, I believe it is. It'll be in fact this week. But there's 5 because it's already printed. I tried to get a hold of you people.
No, sir, I'm not buying that.
It's there. It's
I'm
there.
not buying it. And you're dangerous to talk to. You're just dangerous to talk to.
You can text me. I tried to
No,
explain
sir.
to you. I've tried to explain
You own
to
all the
you
ink and all the
that
paper. You can write what you want.
5 horses were there on the 28th. There were 2 horses and a donkey at your house.
What are you doing at my house, stalker?
Because I'm trying to find the
Because you're a
horses.
stalker.
Apparently you live
You're a
over there.
stalker. I did. I just said I did. And I told you why I did.
I sent you.
Told you why I did.
That was them. All you had to do is say that one of them.
No, Jeff, give you an inch, you take a mile. Give you a mile, you take 4.
Pretty much got the full mile here. You give it. Okay.
Good.
Another concern I have is that if you try to start giving things away that are our.
All right.
assets, these are
He's
our
telling us
assets.
what to do now, so.
These are our assets. I don't think you can give our assets away. I don't think you can do that. I think you would have to do some kind of way for the public to bid on this or get an opportunity get this, or something would be fair, because those horses have some value. You have our assets. So if you start giving them to someone, I would love to see who you give them to.
Okay,
Are you aware that there was a farmer and a family that offered to help take care of these horses for free that had experience working out there?
who's that?
Are you aware of that?
No, who is that?
Okay, I'll talk to you later about that. I just
Okay.
want- I'm-
So future candidates, anytime you're handed an agreement and it comes before the fiscal court, if you're not sure, don't vote on it. Don't vote on it. Two things have been talked about here today, the Justice Center and this here. It only come up over a year later. It was only an issue a year later. So anytime you're handed an agreement, if you don't feel comfortable in voting on it, don't vote on it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You got to know it word for word. Okay? That's just my advice to you. You're running. Okay? Anything else?
Madam Speaker,
Yes.
it's an open meeting.
I called for questions several minutes ago.
The statement, there was only 5 horses there. I'm the one that goes and feeds and waters the horses every day. There was not a day there was only 5 horses there. If there was a day there was only 5 horses there, I need to know about it because apparently someone stole them from the time I got there and checked on them that day to the next day. There's 40 acres there. Either, I don't know what the deal was, but to sit there and say there was only 5 horses there is incorrect.
On the 28th, there were 5 horses. there.
No, sir. On the 28th, there was 8 horses there.
I texted the judge and I asked.
I don't care who you texted or who you asked. On the 28th, there was 8 horses there.
There's 11, there's now 8.
There's 8 there today. There was 8 there that day. There was 8 there the day before. I feed them, I water them, I count them on a daily basis. Except for the days of it, you called me?
Oh, you folks you on the phone and ask you who's paying for it?
No, sir, you did not call me.
You said there.
No, sir, you did not call me.
I did.
My name is Tracy Shirley and I never received a call from
I
you.
know who you are. I just asked you a general question. Who's paying for the horses? And you told me.
No, I did not. I have not talked to you.
Sky's green, Jeff.
Hey, gentlemen, this is not the arena to sort this out.
Only thing I want to sort it out is the amount of horses that was there. That's how many's been there. We had 9 at one time, and one of them had to remove. Or the vet recommended it because it was getting bullied, it was getting malnutrition. It went to Judge Held. From that day forward, there's been 8 horses there. That's all I got.
Any closing comments on this? Questions from the committees?
I mean, I call for questions as far as calling for a vote. What I meant. When I called.
So we've got something to vote on, correct, Mr. Governor?
Right, and the discussion's supposed to cease when I call questions. There's no more.
Have all y'all, anything else for me? Jeff, anything else for me? No questions as it relates to these horses.
Roll call.
Well,
vote.
Read the motion.
we do have a question. We would take on his, Tim, on your, we would need to not put in there giveaway. We would need to go the proper way of guidance from the county attorney to how we need to proceed with
I
this
just want
process.
this over with. I make a motion that help me, the county sells the horses.
That's what I said. I sent that to you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be surprised if this isn't in your newspaper.
Oh, no, it is.
Yeah,
It's my front page.
I know, stalking my
I
property,
reached out to you.
stalking my property.
So, the motion is for the horse, the county to sell the
I'm sure you've
horses.
done worse.
Yeah, and I second that.
You second that. Roll call vote, I guess. I vote yes.
I do, yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Yes. Bob, Billy? Huh?
I'm not, he's not eligible.
Oh, you're not on the committee, I'm sorry. So this will be brought before the full court. I don't know if we can put it on the special call meeting agenda or,
You can, if you request it. If you request, so all 4 of you voted yes? Okay, I'm gonna go with your yes. Okay, I'll be fine.
so Any other discussion, any other, that's the only thing on the agenda, so I recommend.
I appreciate y'all listening today.